QBs in the free agent market. Tim Kalashoff, the Dallas Morning News, is calling for the Cowboys to sign one of the three vets as insurance in case something were to happen to Dak Prescott. So, Shannon, do the Cowboys need a proven backup for Dak Prescott?
I believe they do, and the Cowboys are the only team that doesn't believe that doesn't think they need a quality backup. Skip, we saw how beneficial this was. The Eagles won a Super Bowl because they had a quality backup. Skip, you and I both know, I think we both can agree on this, that had the Eagles not had Nick Foles, they're not winning that Super Bowl. And the thing is now is that these veteran quarterbacks are cheap. We just saw Jameis Winston go for $1.1 million in base salary. He can earn another $3.4 million in incentives. Well, Jameis Winston made $20 million, almost $21 million last year. So that's a $20 million reduction in pay. Andy Dalton was scheduled to make, I guess, what, $17 million? So you can get him for the cheap. I mean, it's what, $1.2 million in base salary? So, Skip, you can get one of these, or Cam, you can get one of these guys for the cheap, Skip. I believe that they need, if something, and knock on wood, Skip, you do it all the time. And Dak, for the most part, he's only been banged up like the last 2 or 3 games of last year. So he's been a rock. He's been steady. But God forbid something were to happen. Cooper Rush is not taking you anywhere. If something were to happen to Dak and you have to play Cooper Rush, you might as well go on and get ready for the 2021 season because it's not going to happen. You better get somebody that's been there, that's playoff tested, that's gone to the playoffs and knows what it takes. Although Andy Dalton hasn't won a playoff game, Skip, I believe with the cast that they have around him, he wouldn't have to be spectacular in order for them to win a playoff game. We know what Cam has done. He's been an MVP. He's taken a team to the Super Bowl. He was former Rookie of the Year. So we know what Cam is. So they need someone other than Cooper Rush because if something happens to Dak, and I hope it doesn't, Skip, this season's over.
This is the first time all day today I completely agree with everything you just said. In fact, I want to thank my friend Tim Kalashaw for opening my eyes to this problem because I don't think about the problem because it hasn't been a problem for 4 years because Dak has been sensationally durable. He hasn't missed a game. And I am, as you say, I'm knocking on wood on my desk right here, right now, because, Shannon, all of a sudden it's not just about durability with Dak, it's about availability because I have been shocked and disappointed. He is a virtual holdout. I think he's going to be whatever camp there is, holdout. He might just be a holdout for games 1 and 2, the way Emmitt Smith was in the 1993 Cowboys season before Jerry had to cave in and sign him. Still don't think Emmitt got quite as much as a lot of people thought, but it took missing 2 games, 2 L's that the Cowboys took for that deal to get done. And it might be this one also this year. So I'm with you. I've watched Cooper Rush a lot for 3 preseasons, but I remind you, Shannon, he's undrafted out of Central Michigan. He looks the part at 6'3", 225, and he plays okay against second and third teamers in the preseason. He's had 8 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's okay, but I'm in no rush to see what Cooper Rush could do in place of Dak Prescott in the first 2 real games. No rush. And that's why the prospect of Andy Dalton, he's a native Texan from Katy, which is a Houston suburb, played at TCU, Texas Christian, which is in Fort Worth, part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, fairly close to Jerry World. He's got the Texas connections, and frankly, a lot of people thought that Andy Dalton was a backup all those years in Cincinnati because he was kind of a backup quarterback masquerading as a starter. He did make 3 Pro Bowls. He did have some stretches of high-caliber quarterback play, but his mentality is such, he's such a good guy and great teammate. Yeah, he'd be the perfect backup. He's not going to make any waves or rattle any cages or cause any problems for Dak Prescott or Jerry Jones. He would be the perfect backup. But now I'm going to throw this at you because you brought up the name. You invoked Cam. If I could snap my fingers right now and have Cam Newton as my backup quarterback going into the season, yes, thank you, God, I'll take it. Now, how you would pay Cam, would he take $1.1 million to play for Dallas? I doubt it, but who knows? Maybe it'd be his best shot. I don't know. But if Cam thought he had a chance to actually get to play some next year for America's team, maybe. I'll say this for Dak. He's got such strong football character, such a football backbone to him. He seems so confident in himself. He wouldn't be threatened by Cam Newton as his backup the way, let's say, there's been speculation about Cam going to the Rams. I think Jared Goff would be threatened by Cam Newton. I think he might crumble a little bit under the pressure of having Cam Newton, former MVP, looking over his shoulder pads. But Dak, no, he would be just fine. And I would be just fine with the all-time former MVP insurance policy of Dak Prescott, of Cam Newton as my backup to Dak. Again, I think this negotiation has gone completely south and is going nowhere slowly. So I'm hoping that they would land him as a backup quarterback, even over Andy Dalton, who might be a better long-term fit, obviously, as a backup quarterback.
Skip, here's the thing, though. Cam, you want to play football? All we have is $1 million, $1.1 million. You can either play for $1.1 million or you can go home and make nothing. Now, let me tell you what happened, Skip.
Okay.
The quickest thing I realized, Skip, after I was out of work for a couple of years, is that when you have money going out and you don't have any coming in, trust me, that'll deplete a savings and a retirement quicker than anything. Also, when I was a kid, Skip, I didn't really know the importance of insurance because we were never going to the doctor. So I didn't think insurance for what? If you had a toothache, my grandfather pulled a tooth. So I didn't know anything but as you get older, hopefully you never have to use insurance. But it's great to have just in case you do. You hope nothing ever happens to Dak Prescott, Skip. Boy, but it's a nice luxury to have if you got Cam or you got Andy Dalton as opposed to Cooper Rush. That's all I'm saying, Skip Bayless. So for me, when I look at it, the big money is not going to be there, Skip. Because why? Why would I pay a guy $3 million when there are no other teams out there that's offering that? It's not like they're getting into a bidding war. Well, like Sean Payton said, they wanted this guy, but he had committed to being a free agent for Carolina. Sean Payton said, well, we'll give you this. And his agent says, well, we've already committed to going to Carolina. Sean Payton trades back into the round because they have no more draft picks. He gives up a draft pick next year to take the guy in, I think, the 6th round, Skip. And he says, I was asking, now I'm taking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Skip, so now the thing is, that's it. There are no bidding wars going on for Cam or Andy Dalton. So Skip, it's not like they have their choice like, well, I want to go here for $5 million or I can go there for, it's not there. It's a very small market and go to a fit. Now, I'm not saying, Skip, just go anywhere. Go somewhere that you think is going to be a good fit, that you're going to be able to learn and you can help if something were to happen. And I think the Dallas would be foolish not to at least kick the tires or interview or talk to virtual, however you're going to do it, however they do it now, Skip, Andy Dalton or Cam.
So here's the punchline to this discussion. Do you realize that very, very quietly back on March 18th, pandemic is starting to hit, NFL free agency is about to hit, a move was made in Dallas that went completely under the radar. Do you realize they re-signed Cooper Rush for $2.1 million? So Cooper Rush makes $1 million more going into next year than Jameis is going to make in New Orleans to back up Drew Brees. It's mind-blowing to me. But remember, Shannon, they did sign Kai Forbath or re-sign him as their kicker, and then Greg Zuerlein came available, and they said, whoops, okay, let's go sign him for a lot more money. So maybe they could figure out how to get out from under the Cooper Rush thing as quickly as possible in favor of a proven quality backup.
Well, Skip, if you've already given them guaranteed money, you can't recoup that, but you just basically eat it. And it seems to me Dallas should be or would be willing to eat, considering that Andy Dalton or Cam Newton would be your backup to Dak Prescott. And if something unforeseen happened, Skip, you would have to feel a lot more comfortable moving forward with Andy Dalton or Cam than you would Cooper Rush. Now, Skip, he can play. They might like what they've seen in practice. They might have seen enough in preseason games that we really like Cooper Rush. But I think I'm going to go with the proven commodities as opposed to an unproven commodity, especially with so much at stake. Skip, it's playoff or bust for the Cowboys.